Hello everyone, and welcome back to my journey. I want to give a huge thanks to all of you who have given me the time of day, and before we start, for anyone new, I recommend you check out the previous videos in the series to get more context on what it is I'm doing. However, I'll give the quick rundown right now. I'll be keeping track of all my ups and downs throughout learning the Japanese language, or Nihongo. I just learned that yesterday, so I had to put it in there. And I have absolutely zero prior experience with learning a language, and I just want to show that it can be done for relatively cheap and hopefully a decent amount of time. So, in the end, it begs the question, how long does it really take to learn Japanese? Okay, everyone, Happy New Year. This will be our chance to start fresh and your chance to judge me yet again on my work habits with each and every progress report. And for those of you wondering, I'm no longer sick anymore. I started getting better yesterday, so it's now all but gone. Anyways, we started off this week with 1 hour of kanji, 1 hour of grammar, and 18 minutes of hiragana and katakana on Monday. Tuesday, we had 1 hour of reading, 1 hour 4 minutes of kanji, and 15 minutes of hiragana and katakana. Wednesday, we had 1 hour of grammar, 1 hour of vocab, and 15 minutes of hiragana and katakana. Thursday, we had 1 hour of kanji, 1 hour of reading, and 17 minutes of hiragana and katakana. Friday, we had 1 hour of kanji, 1 hour of vocab. I didn't end up studying it all on Saturday. However, on Sunday, we had 56 minutes of kanji and 30 minutes of grammar. Now all this adds to a total of 12 hours and 35 minutes, bringing the grand total to 61 hours and 56 minutes. So quick round of applause as we have well surpassed the 50-hour mark in our journey. I plan on making a recap video of my first month learning Japanese soon, so if you don't want to miss out on that, I recommend subscribing to the channel in order to stay up to date. Now, let's get to the kanji. Okay, so let's go over the kanji we learned this week. This is something I want to do more often, and I'm still trying to figure out the best way to show you all what I'm actually doing without it being super boring for you. So bear with me, please. We'll eventually get to the other side where I completely know what I'm doing. Now, when I learn kanji, there are 4 kanji or words using kanji per lesson. I usually do 2 new lessons and 6 old lessons for review each day. As you can see, I learned mai, mainichi, nan, nanika, nanin, nangatsu, nanji, nanbun. On Monday, on Tuesday I learned nanhon, nannichi, tomo, ki, umareru, sensei, sakana, oki. Thursday I learned otona, ten, tempura, tenki, sora, den, denki, and kuruma. Friday I learned densha, iu, go, nihongo, na, onamae, mise, uma. And lastly, Sunday I learned eki, michi, sha, kuni, shugoku, soto, gaikoku, gaku. Now out of all these kanji, I'd say the first half I pretty much have down at this point. The first quarter of the second half is where I might forget a stroke order here and there, and then the most recent is usually a 50-50 gamble. This is why I review a lot more of the old kanji at a time than the new ones, as it gives me and my brain time to comprehend all the funky new characters. However, on a more important note, I'm starting to wonder, did we hit our goals this week? Now let's start off with the first goal, which was writing all the katakana characters from memory. This one took me a few tries, so I don't want you to think that I get all of these right the first time. That'd be sweet though. I'm not really sure why, but for some reason this was way harder for me than the hiragana. Or maybe not way hard, but it was definitely more difficult. And maybe it's because I usually see hiragana more than katakana. I'm not really sure. But nevertheless, I think we can call this one a success. Next up is our 30 kanji, and I did write down the meaning for all 30. However, that is just so I can remember which 30 kanji I have to write down. Because at this point, I know more than 30 kanji. I know, I'm a big boy. But it's not because I don't know the meaning. And this one actually was my first try. However, I got really close to messing up on the kanji for noon, which is go, and year, which is toshi. But I was able to pull through in the end. I will now read them off in order, and the meaning will be on the screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12、口、火、白い、100、1000、万、人、分、土、時、週、月、5、年、今、たった今、今日、今年。Lastly, we have the 5-sentence paragraph. Where do I start? This was way too hard for me at this point. I don't know what I was thinking. I was certainly over my head. So don't get mad at me, but I decided to scrap the topic at least and just try to get a simple discussion written down that made sense enough. Like anything. Like I was grasping at straws here. I don't think you understand. So my first attempt was off camera as I wanted to get a feel for it. I ended up writing 私は津波です。アメリカからです。それは何ですか? And then the other person would just say, これは花火. I'd be like, 本当ですか? And they'd be like, 大きいの花火. In English, this would go like, my name is Tsunami. I'm from America. What is that? These are fireworks. Oh, really? Yeah, they're big fireworks. Something like that. Anyways, as for my final paragraph, a couple things I want to say while the video plays. If I couldn't remember the kanji, like for hanabi, which is firework, I couldn't remember the kanji for hana, which is flower. So I just wrote the hiragana for it. And if some of the grammar is not 100% perfect, I apologize, but this was my best attempt, so I will count it as a success for now. It goes, すみません、私は津波です。何時ですか? ただいま12。そうか、ありがとうございます。それは何ですか? これは花火。大きいの花火。楽しい. I don't know how accurate this is. However, in English, it goes, excuse me, my name is Tsunami. What time is it? Right now, it's 12 o'clock. I see, thank you very much. Oh, what is that? These are fireworks. Big fireworks. Sounds fun. Or something like that. I know it's pretty basic, but I still think I did better than I thought I was going to. And hopefully in the near future, I won't forget some of the kanji again and actually know how to put together complex sentences that don't sound like a 5-year-old talking. But until then, I'd say we successfully lived to fight another day, thus making our total for goals complete 5 out of 7, which I'm pretty happy about. I mean, it could always be better. However, you gotta remember as well, it could always be worse. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about immersion when it comes to learning a language, as it's not really something I can entirely track when it comes to the hours I put down. But rest assured, I am definitely trying my best to immerse myself in this culture. Whether that's anime, podcasts, Japanese media, songs, videos of people talking in Japanese, the culture behind it, samurais, or literally anything relating or pertaining to the Japanese as people or their culture or their country. I'm trying my best to soak it all in. Because you usually end up learning a lot of interesting things, and it helps you be more well-versed, I guess the word would be. Anyways, if I'm consuming Japanese media, and I'm completely paying attention and pausing every 10 seconds, then looking up the meaning and all that, I obviously can count it towards the total. The problem is, if I just have Japanese music on or a podcast in the background, I can't really keep track of that time accurately enough, as there's really no metric I can use to say exactly how much of it stuck with me or how much I paid attention, and a whole array of other factors. With that being said, it still makes all the difference in the world. I'm willing to bet if two different people had the exact same study routine and started at the same time, but one of the two people was consuming more Japanese media when they weren't studying, it's pretty obvious who would achieve more progress. Not to mention, it can help a lot when it comes to familiarity or remembering things easier. A small example for me would be in the movie Weathering with You. The name in Japanese is Tenki no Ko. And just the other day, I learned the kanji for sky, which is ten, and the kanji for spirit/heart, which is ki, and together they make up the kanji for weather, which is tenki. Now already this will be so much easier to remember because I can relate it to something I've already experienced. Now, the second I hear ten, tenki, or ki, I can instantly discern what all three kanji mean and look like solely because of a movie I happened to watch months ago. And these types of examples will pop up more and more throughout your learning experience with any language. At least they did for me, and continue to do so. Another example of this for me is because of One Piece. I know the word kaizoku means pirate, and I also learned that kazoku means family. And the only reason I remembered both of them was because of their similarities. Or, in Naruto, the infinite Tsukiyomi helped when I learned the kanji for moon/month, Tsuki. It became instantly easier to remember. An example of another language, however, would be, the word cocaína means cocaine, and that cerveza means beer. And that's just from watching things like Narcos or Money Heist on Netflix. Totally off topic, but really good shows. Recommend you check them out. Also, by watching or being around native speakers, you get more accustomed to slight nuances and see how they elongate some words or put emphasis on others, or maybe just leave things out of a sentence entirely. I know in English I could say, "Yo, what you trying to do today?" to a friend, but the correct way to say it would obviously be, "Hey, what are you trying to do today?" And you can instantly see it just sounds blocky and robotic and unnatural to an English speaker. But to a non-native speaker, when they hear the first example, they're probably really confused, because at the end of the day, they both mean the exact same thing. It's just one's grammatically correct, while the other sounds more normal. Like, I watched a video the other day, and I've noticed Japanese people say arigatou gozaimasu really fast, and it kind of just jumbles together like arigatou gozaimasu. So to them it's normal, but to me it's like, oh, slow down a second. Another example I learned pretty recently, actually, when I've been learning grammar, is from Zucchini Andy. He was saying that in Japanese, sometimes they'll just drop the des. Kind of like what I did in my paragraph, right? Where instead of being like, sugoi desu, right? Like, oh, this is awesome. You can just say sugoi. Or I did tanoshii. Instead of saying tanoshii desu, I just say tanoshii. So instead of it is fun or that is fun or whatever, you could just say fun. That's how he explained it. He said you could just say fun. But I digress. I could go on and on forever, but I think you get my point. Immersion is very important, and without it, I think you'll find that your journey takes a very, very long time. Not to say it can't be done, however, to me, a lot of the fun you get from learning a language is in learning about the people and culture of those who actually speak it. I mean, why else do you want to learn a language? At the end of the day, the core reason is going to be the same. To be able to send or receive a message in another language and completely understand what's being said. That'll end my discussion for this week, but not before we talk about goals. So as I was thinking of what kind of goals I want to set for this upcoming week, I was trying to think of things that I still needed to work on, which, to be fair, is everything. But I am slightly better at some categories more than others, at the very least. So I kind of want to try something a little different this time. My first goal will just be 6 hours of grammar, which isn't that different, but it is currently one of my most lacking skills. My second goal, however, I want to try to read a few different pre-written paragraphs without the furigana letters above the kanji. So it will kind of just be like any other normal paragraph in Japanese, except I, being an absolute beginner, will be attempting to read them as fluently and normal as possible. Basically, I'm going to try my best to pronounce it all right, talk in a timely manner, and hopefully not stutter or get stuck on words too much, so wish me luck. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.